Hello, and welcome to this tutorial on how to use the Beauplan's Ukraine Harvard Dataverse repository. Before diving into this, please note that in addition to this tutorial, a series of more detailed tutorials have been prepared to help you use the repository. See the links below. We start with a very quick review of Beauplan and his works. In 1630, Beauplan traveled to the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth to begin a 17-year military career in the Crown Army. His account of this period was published in 1660. In addition to providing a coherent tableau of 17th century Ukrainian landscapes, people, flora, and climate, Beauplan's work provides a major cartographic description of this region. The maps produced by Beauplan form the core of the Beauplan's Ukraine repository. A major hurdle to applying Beauplan's work to studies of this historically and currently critical region of the world lies in accessing, extracting, and interpreting the information embedded in Beauplan's maps. These tasks consume valuable time and resources that could be applied directly to using these materials to answer research questions. The primary goal of the Beauplan's Ukraine repository is to provide easy access to Beauplan's maps and related materials. We have chosen the Harvard Dataverse repository to store our materials. We won't go into a detailed description of the Harvard Dataverse, aside from noting that this resource provides a repository that is free and open to all people where they can share, archive, cite, and access research data. With that background, here we are at the Beauplan's Ukraine Harvard Dataverse home site, which you can access here. You do not need to have a Harvard Dataverse account to access the materials in the Dataverse, so no need to log in to the Dataverse. The Beauplan's Ukraine Dataverse has three sections: Beauplan's Maps of Ukraine, Beauplan's Places in Ukraine, and Base Maps of Ukraine. Let's examine the Beauplan's Maps of Ukraine section of the Dataverse. Here we are at the Beauplan's Maps of Ukraine section of the Dataverse. As you can see, there are also three sections to this Dataverse: the Beauplan Map Library, a Visual Map Index, and Georeference Maps of Ukraine. We'll start with an examination of the Beauplan Map Library. We won't go into great detail about the library, but there is a detailed tutorial available in the description. The Beauplan Map Library contains 36 high-resolution JPEG scans of Beauplan maps, with this being one example map in the Beauplan library. As you can see from this zoomed-in image of this map, the Beauplan Map Library contains high-resolution scans of the maps. This map just so happens to show the confluence of the Dnieper and Omelnik rivers, where Skshetuski encounters Khmelnytsky for the first time in Sienkiewicz's With Fire and Sword. Now we'll examine the Visual Map Index section of the Beauplan's Maps of Ukraine section of the Dataverse. The Visual Map Index comes in two versions: a shapefile version that can be opened in GIS applications such as ArcGIS and QGIS, and a KMZ file version that can be opened in applications such as Google Earth. Let's check out the KMZ section of this Dataverse. Both the shapefile and KMZ versions of the Visual Map Index have been split up into three sections: Dnieper River Maps, General Maps, and Regional Maps. Downloading the Dnieper River KMZ file, for example, and opening in Google Earth, we see the outlines of all of the Beauplan maps in the map library covering the Dnieper River. Clicking on an entry opens an information box for the map. Following the link in the information box takes you to the Dataverse entry for the associated map, where you can download the map. The third section of Beauplan's Maps of Ukraine contains georeferenced Beauplan maps. Here we see the KMZ format maps and the TIFF format versions of the georeferenced maps. Here is an example KMZ format georeferenced Beauplan map opened in Google Earth. It should be noted that these georeferenced maps are of somewhat limited value due to the distortions caused by the inaccuracies of the maps and the georeferencing process. For example, here we see a Google Earth view showing the source of the Omelnik River, and here is the georeferenced Beauplan map of the region where the Omelnik and its Dnieper River source are far removed from the actual location of the river. Obviously, the georeferenced map would have done Panyan little good. We will now move on to the Beauplan's Places in Ukraine dataverse. This dataverse also has three sections: a gazetteer of places shown on Beauplan's maps, Palatinate borders as shown on Beauplan's maps, and travel routes as shown on his maps. Examining the gazetteer, we see that the gazetteer is provided in CSV, KMZ, and shapefile formats. Examining the CSV version shows that the gazetteer currently contains over 4,000 places shown on these 9 Beauplan maps. You can check out the description below for a link to a tutorial providing details on gazetteer structure and attributes, but let's check out one important aspect of the gazetteer. Some of Beauplan's places are shown on more than one map. Here we have 2 separate gazetteer entries for the same forest shown on 2 different Beauplan maps. Each entry has a unique entry number but the same ID number because they are the same place. Because the gazetteer captures all places on all Beauplan maps, of the 4,157 places currently included in the gazetteer, 3,029 of the places are unique places. Moving on, the Beauplan's Palatinate borders section of the repository contains shape and KMZ versions that capture borders for 5 palatinates shown on these Beauplan maps, with one example shown here. The travel routes section also contains shape and KMZ versions, with this example Beauplan map showing major schlock routes and minor trail routes. Finally, we come to the Base Maps of Ukraine section of the Beauplan's Ukraine Dataverse, which also has a tutorial linked below. Here we see 4 base map datasets, one for elevation and one for rivers, and water and land masks. Let's pull this all together and show how to use the materials in the Beauplan's Ukraine repository. Here we see a QGIS project with layers for the 3 main sections of the repository: Beauplan's Maps of Ukraine, Beauplan's Places in Ukraine, and Base Maps of Ukraine. The project includes modern maps for reference. Here the QGIS project has elevation and river layers turned on. In addition to the elevation and rivers base maps, the land and water masks can be used to clean up details on a map image. Regarding Beauplan's Places in Ukraine section of the repository, here are Beauplan's Palatinate borders superimposed on a Bing aerial map. And here are the schlock and trail routes shown on Beauplan's maps, laid over a Google Maps layer. And finally, here is the shapefile version of the gazetteer of Beauplan's Places. Note that the gazetteer of Places is broken into habitations and geographical features. In conclusion, please note that while the primary beneficiaries of this work are anticipated to be scholars, researchers, and historians, the resources being made available support preservation of and exposure to the history and culture of the region. They can also provide the general public with a human dimension to places that may be known only for their current focus as a center of geopolitical conflict. To this end, all materials are in the public domain and are being made available online through a Harvard Dataverse repository under a public domain Creative Commons Universal Deed license. Thanks for watching this tutorial. We hope this has been helpful to you and that you find the materials available in this repository to be useful in your work. And finally, don't forget to check out the related videos in the links below.